Liberal Catholicism was a current of thought that was influential, especially in France, in the 19th century and the first half of the 20th. Being predominantly political in nature, liberal Catholicism was distinct from the contemporary theological movement of modernism, and is distinct also both from the attitude of Catholics who are described as theologically progressive or liberal. Definition: liberal Catholicism has been defined as, in essence, a trend among sincere Catholics to exalt freedom as a primary value and to draw from this consequences in social, political, and religious life, seeking to reconcile the principles on which Christian France was founded with those that derived from the French Revolution. History: the movement of liberal Catholicism was initiated in France by Hugues Félicité Robert de Lamennais with the support of Jean-Baptiste Henry Lacordaire, Charles Forbes, René de Montalembert and Olympe Philippe Gerbert, Bishop of Perpignan, while a parallel movement arose in Belgium, led by François-Antoine-Marie Constantin de Emir Qtna de Boyard, Archbishop of Mechelen, and his vicar general Engelbert Sturkex. Lamennais founded the newspaper L'Ami de l'Ordre, the first issue of which appeared on the 16th of October 1830, with the motto, God and Liberty. The paper was aggressively democratic, demanding rights of local administration, and enlarged suffrage, separation of church and state, universal freedom of conscience, freedom of education, freedom of assembly, and freedom of the press. Styles of worship were to be criticized, improved or abolished in absolute submission to the spiritual, not to the temporal authority. On the 7th of December 1830, the editors articulated the demands as follows: "We firstly ask for the freedom of conscience, of the freedom of full universal religion, without distinction as without privilege, and by consequence, in what touches us, we Catholics, for the total separation of church and state. This necessary separation, without which there would exist for Catholics no religious freedom, implies, for a part, the suppression of the ecclesiastical budget, and we have fully recognized this; for another part, the absolute independence of the clergy in the spiritual order. Just as there can be nothing religious today in politics, there must be nothing political in religion. We ask, secondly, for freedom of education, because it is a natural right, and thus to say, the first freedom of the family, because there exists without it neither religious freedom nor freedom of expression." With the help of Montalembert, Lamennais founded the Agence Générale pour la Défense de la Liberté Religieuse, which became a far-reaching organization with agents throughout France who monitored violations of religious freedom. As a result, the periodical's career was stormy and its circulation opposed by conservative bishops. In response, Lamennais, Montalembert and Lacordaire suspended the work and in November 1831 set out to Rome to obtain the approval of Pope Gregory XVI. They were received in audience, but after they had left Rome, the 1832 encyclical Mirari Vos condemned religious pluralism in general and certain of Lamennais' ideas advanced in L'Avenir without mentioning his name. After this, Lamennais and his two lieutenants declared that out of deference to the Pope, they would not resume the publication of L'Avenir and dissolved the Agence Générale as well. Lamennais soon distanced himself from the Catholic Church, which was a blow to the credibility of the liberal Catholic movement, and the other two moderated the tone, but still campaigned for liberty of religious education and liberty of association. The National Congress of Belgium, an alliance between Catholics and secular liberals on the basis of mutually recognized rights and freedoms, adopted in 1831 a constitution that enshrined several of the freedoms for which liberal Catholicism campaigned. The Congress column in Brussels, erected in honor of the Congress, has at its base 4 bronze statues that represent the 4 basic freedoms enshrined in the Constitution: freedom of religion, freedom of association, education, and freedom of the press. These 4 freedoms are also reflected in the names of the 4 streets that lead to the Place de la Liberté, Vrijheidsplein of Brussels: the Rue des Cultes, Herodenstraat; the Rue de l'Association, Vernieuwingstraat; the Rue de l'Enseignement, Onderrichtstraat; and the Rue de la Presse, Drukpestraat. The Constitution adopted almost all of Lamennais' proposals for the separation of church and state, granting the Catholic Church independence in church appointments and public activities, and almost complete supervision of Catholic education. In 19th-century Italy, the liberal Catholic movement had a lasting impact in that it ended the association of the ideal of national independence with that of anti-clerical revolution.